this morning's breakfast where we're paying tribute to each and every one of you. Some of you have had the pleasure of greeting him this morning, but won't you join me in welcoming Reverend Jackson to the room this morning? God bless you. As we celebrate you, our cancer survivors. We have another survivor with us this morning who is going to come before you. His name is Mr. John Alexander. He is a Rainbow Push Coalition volunteer and supporter, and I'm going to ask that you please give him your attention as you continue to enjoy your breakfast. Mr. Alexander.
Good morning, and good morning. Let's try that one more time. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
One more time. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Well, this is a odd thing for me to be doing because I'm usually on the other side of the camera taking pictures of Reverend Jackson and everything else. But I figured this was kind of important to let people know about breast cancer in men. Excuse me, breast cancer in men. Men, y'all listening? Men, are you listening? Breast cancer in men is very rare. It's like 1 to 2%. How I found out I had breast cancer, first of all, I was kind of feeling a little funny upstairs on the chest area. It was a little itchy. And I didn't really know what was going on, but I knew something was going wrong because things didn't feel right upstairs. So I went and took a homeless person. I'm going to skip a few pieces, but I went and took a homeless person to the doctor. And I told the doctor that I was itching. I was feeling kind of funny. My chest was feeling kind of funny. I'm lifting weights, but I still got this area that's not right on me. And he said, well, let me check you out. So he took me in the examination room and said, well, Mr. Alexander, we have to do a mammogram. Mammogram. Ooh. That's for women. That ain't for men. I ain't got enough stuff up here to take a mammogram, but I did it and found out I was in stage 1 breast cancer. Which is kind of, sad because I had just recently, 2 years before that, had throat cancer where they took out my tonsils, some stuff in my nose, a graft out of my head, and right up in here because this cancer had spread not only from my breast, but it spread also to my throat. So had I not helped a homeless person, I probably wouldn't be standing before you right now at this moment because it was just very, very serious. My words of encouragement to most of the people and to anyone in this room, and especially the men in this room, all men, please stand up for just 1 second so I can see you guys. All men, can y'all please stand up for 1 second? If all you guys love your families, if you love your family, say I do. And if you want to find out what's going on with you, you said I will. So with those two things, if you just go to the doctor and just get checked out, do your examination, do the colonoscopy, the prostate exam, you do get your PSA test examined, you'll find out what's wrong with you and you can catch things fairly early. Because if you don't get into stage 2 and stage 3, well, that's almost terminal. And you don't want that. And all I can say is I have one more stage to my breast cancer that I'm not really proud of. So I'm just going to tell you anyway because it's embarrassing for me, but I'm going to tell it to you because I have to tell it to you. Right now I have on a vest. And what the vest does is keep my chest compressed. I have one more stage of operation, so they have to cut the fluid off my chest so I won't walk around looking like a female. So what we call it today is called man boobs. Anybody ever heard of that? Man boobs? Trust me, that's when your chest look like a woman. Ain't nothing you can do about it until you have the operation. That's the end result of me having cancer. So I'm going to open up my jacket real quick. I'm going to take it off. How you doing, Mr. Jordan? And so you can't see it, but right here is where the fluid lays at, right on top of my muscles. I'm in shape, but until I get this out the way, I can get as big as Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm going to still have that same issue. So that's the same thing. That's what I got to go get rid of. I've been embarrassed with it for a long time, trying to hide myself with big shirts on, but I can't hide no more. If I don't get it done, I have the chance to read the cancer maybe coming back. But I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to go have the operation in the next few months. I should have had it in August, but I did not do it. That's me procrastinating. I don't want you guys procrastinating. Because when you look at your mother, your father, your sisters, your brothers, your aunties, your uncles, and you laying up in a cup, when you look at those people, let me slow down because I'm overexcited a little bit. When I look at my children, I say, I'm not doing this for me no more. I'm done. I got to do this for my kids, my friends, Reverend Jackson, Bob Jordan, Thomas, Lalana, everybody that's in this audience that I know personally. I got to stay alive for that. If I don't do it, then I failed my own self, and I have nobody to blame but me. So men, if you are afraid to go to the doctor, you shouldn't be. Because if you don't go to the doctor, then we'll be looking at you another kind of way, and you'll never know the rewards and the benefits you're going to get from people seeing you dead. You don't want that? You may get through? That's it? Okay, Reverend Jackson said, I'm finished. And when he speaks, we listen. But anyway, guys, go get your checkups. It don't cost that much. Go get your checkup. If you can tune your cars up, tune your body up. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Mr. Alexander. This is a circle of women, a brotherhood of men. So we're so grateful to have this gentleman to come before you and let the men know we love you, we care about you, and we want you to go and check on yourself. Take care of your bodies for yourselves and your families. Thank you, Mr. Alexander. At this point, we're going to have Dr. Alana Biggers from the University of Illinois in Chicago to come before you and bring you a message of encouragement. Remember, this is a celebration today of your life, of your faith, of your courage, of your survival. So we are celebrating you today. You are the winners. You are the ones who are singing again, dancing again, and fellowshipping again. So we're so grateful to be here with you. And Dr. Biggers has graciously agreed to come and offer some encouraging words. Please.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, Reverend Jackson and Reverend Wilson, for inviting me here to speak today. It is an honor and a pleasure. I'm Dr. Alana Biggers, and I'm an internal medicine physician at the University of Illinois at Chicago. I come to you today not just as a physician to give you facts and figures. I come as a woman ready to share her story with you. Breast cancer is not just a disease that I learned about in a textbook. It is a condition that has affected my family now for 3 generations, with the most recent being my 42-year-old sister. I've known about breast cancer before I knew any particular medical particulars about breast cancer. My story is their story. So my story starts with my paternal grandmother, my dad's mom. She passed away in 1997 in the 70s after she battled cancer for many years. She was born and raised in Augusta, Georgia. Apparently, my grandmother found a lump in her breast in the 1980s, but she was told that it was nothing to worry about. However, it was something to worry about. I don't know exactly how long it took her to get someone to listen, but I do know she ended up having to lose both her breasts with a double mastectomy. And she was not offered reconstruction surgery at that time. And the common practice back then was to remove all the lymph nodes, which some women know that procedure could riddle her with pain and swelling known as lymphedema. My grandmother didn't complain, and she lived about another 10 years after her diagnosis, but her quality of life was worsened by breast cancer and the chemotherapy treatments. She spent the last days of her life in great pain due to the metastases to her other organs. I remember being sad when my grandmother passed away, but also relieved that she no longer had to deal with pain. I think about how the end of her life may have been different if someone had just listened to her sooner. Now this picture is different from my mother's and my sister's experience with breast cancer some 15 to 20 years later. My mother was diagnosed with DCIS in 2012, or ductal carcinoma in situ. Some of you may know this is a diagnosis of a precancerous state. Now, we can look at her diagnosis as a possible blessing. Let me explain. My maternal grandmother, my mom's mom, was diagnosed with gallbladder cancer back in 2011. My mother came from Atlanta, Georgia, where we lived, to take care of her in her last days. Many of you may be aware of caregiver stress. You take care of everybody else except yourself. So in the middle of all this, my mother actually missed her annual mammogram. Instead, she had her mammogram about 6 months after it was technically due. And that's when they found 2 large masses that ended up being DCIS. Unfortunately, my mother had to undergo a mastectomy too due to the size, but she didn't have to go through chemotherapy or radiation. So why did I call this a possible blessing? It was possible, and I'm being theoretical right now, that if my mom had her annual mammogram, they may not have seen the masses at that time, and they would have told her to have a follow-up in a year. But so the masses that were diagnosed at 18 months as DCIS, could have progressed to stage 1 or 2 at that 2-year mark. So it gives me pause when I think about some of the current guidelines suggesting that women wait every 2 years to get a mammogram and not annually, because as we know, early detection is key. On to my sister's story. She was diagnosed at 41 years old with stage 2 breast cancer earlier this year. Her first mammogram. She didn't feel the masses at all. Again, there are some guidelines that suggest that women do not start screening until they're 50 years old unless you're high risk. Well, was my sister high risk? Technically, no. Having a first-degree relative, a parent, a sibling, a child with breast cancer puts you at high risk. My grandmother's diagnosis, so she's a second-degree relative of breast cancer, and my mother's precancerous diagnosis did not make either one of us high risk. A physician could have easily just recommended my sister start at 50 years old, but we found it, and we found it early. My sister had to undergo a mastectomy, but again, no chemotherapy and no radiation. Now, I'm at higher risk because of my sister's diagnosis, and I have to be screened more often than not. So that's my story, the combination of their stories. In these stories, I see how early detection really makes a difference. Yes, my grandmother lived longer than expected, but her life was likely cut short because the breast cancer wasn't detected soon enough. And my mother and sister had to lose a breast, but they didn't lose their lives or their quality of life. And each of you have a story, whether it is your mother, grandmother, aunt, sister, daughter, cousin, friend, or yourself. Each of you probably know someone who has or had breast cancer. And each of these stories teaches the next person a lesson. When I think of my grandmother, I understand the importance of knowing your body and being an advocate for yourself. The first doctor didn't hear my grandmother, but she advocated for herself and found a doctor who did. Know your body and know your breast. Advocate for yourself or your loved ones. It is important to find a physician who you have a good relationship with and you're comfortable sharing your health information with. When I think of my mother, I'm reminded of the importance of follow-up care. My mother had 2 benign cysts removed when she was 18. So for the record, benign cysts are not a risk factor for developing breast cancer. However, she developed the habit of following up on her health and getting yearly mammograms. When she missed her annual mammogram, she scheduled it as soon as possible and did not neglect her health. Fortunately, the number of women getting mammograms is increasing. Nearly 70% of women get screened, and African American women are at the top of that list, so you guys are listening. However, there is this large number of women who do not get the follow-up care they need as it's recommended. This can lead to diagnosing breast cancer at later stages and decreasing the rate of survival, especially in the African American community. When I think of my sister, I understand the importance of early screening. There is a controversy in the medical community about whether women should start screening at 40 or 50. And if my sister had waited until she was 50, she would have not been here. Women diagnosed in early stages of breast cancer have survival rates greater than 90%. Women diagnosed at later stages have survival rates less than 30%. And this is not a commentary about which professional organization is correct on their guidelines, but I will say you should know your risks and you should know your body. And if something does not seem right, then ask your trusted physician. Now, I'm also awe-inspired when I think of my grandmother, mother, sister, and the countless number of women I've encountered who were diagnosed with breast cancer and who are living. Unfortunately, many women have died from breast cancer, but there are many women who are surviving and living. They are fighters. They are strong and courageous. They did not let this diagnosis define them, and they made a way out of what seemed to be no way. Women, ladies, we are resilient because we have each other's back. They say behind every great man is a great woman, but we can also say behind every successful woman is a tribe of successful women who have her back. This tribe is sharing their stories in an effort to empower and encourage each other through difficult times. And I don't want to leave the men out of this conversation, because sometimes you are the ones who find the lumps in your partner's breast. And you're here to support us through diagnosis and treatments. And also men, as mentioned earlier, do not forget you can also get breast cancer. It's estimated that 1 in 1,000 men in his lifetime will develop breast cancer. So having a male relative puts you at risk for developing breast cancer, so know your risks. That goes to both men and women. So while us researchers continue to tweak guidelines and figure out the best strategy to attack breast cancer, live the most healthy life you can. You can reduce your risk for breast cancer by exercising, maintaining a healthy weight, eliminating alcohol consumption, and avoiding tobacco. Exercise is thought to reduce breast cancer by 18%. So get moving. I'm not talking about going out and running a marathon. Just make sure that you're not sitting in front of the TV or just sitting down all day. Start walking, biking, dancing, whatever makes you feel good. So now that I've shared my story, I want to encourage you all to share your stories. Knowledge is key and support is crucial. We are here to support each other and let our stories help teach the next person and comfort them. Thank you again for allowing me to share a little part of me today. My grandmother's story, my mother's story, my sister's story, my story. I hope you've learned some information that will help you and your loved ones survive your story. Continue to be fierce, courageous women you are, and let's fight breast cancer together. Thank you.
Good job. Beautiful. Wonderful job. This is Dr. Alana Biggers, University of Illinois at Chicago, everybody. Thank you so much, Dr. Biggers. Thank you. Again, if you enjoyed your breakfast this morning, ladies and gentlemen, you can thank 5 Loaves at 75th and King Drive. Also, Soul Veg, Soul Vegetarian, and the sponsorship of Operation Push. So why don't you give all your breakfast sponsors a round of applause. Yes. Thank you. We have so many people to thank. At this time, we're going to bring up Ms. Reverend Jackson, who is one of our committee members, and Ms. Bonita Parker with Rainbow Push organization, so that we can make sure that you know who some of the hands and hearts and dollars came from that helped to make our breakfast such a success this morning. Won't you come to the mic? Ms. Vivian, please welcome Vivian Jackson from our committee, and Ms. Bonita Parker. Okay, darling. Thank you.
Hello, and greetings to all of you all. I have to say, if some of you all saw me walking the streets, passing out flyers, trying to encourage you all to come out. Is anybody here have seen me on the streets? I'm just, no? But that's okay. Because I have reached out to 5 Loaves, and they were very generous to donate meals for us. So I received donation from 5 Loaves Eatery. That's located at 405 East 75th Street. I received something from Just Tires, free oil changes, pockets. You only can use your gift card in Hyde Park. Also, Segway Experience of Chicago. Are you all familiar with that? So I have one special gift card, a gift certificate that I'm giving to someone that we all have to really thank her for. I used her cigarette lighter. So I would like to give, so I'm gonna give her something special. And then clips and cuts by Amzie White. He donated 2 different styles of haircuts for twist for us. And along with I'm pronouncing his restaurant wrong, Majani, which is located on 71st and Exchange. So I'm not sure if someone collected raffles. Have anyone collected raffles? Okay, but the first gift certificate I'm going to get to Marla, because if it wasn't for her, we would not be having hot food. We needed her cigarette lighter. So Marla, can you please come up, please? And can you all give her an applause? Thank you. And call and make an appointment. Oh, you're welcome. Welcome. Okay. So if anybody has a raffle ticket, please, this is the time to put it in. Oh, this is get one? Oh, okay.
No, then
they need to put theirs in.
No, they can still put them in later.
Are you sure?
We're gonna do the raffle after me and Reverend speak, because we have to go downstairs for the birthday.
Okay. Should I stop now? Okay.
So I'll let you know we're gonna continue the raffle line.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, real quick, we are going to continue the raffle momentarily. As you all know, our live broadcast starts at 10 o'clock. We so hope that you all will join us for the live broadcast when you're done here. I just want to speak very quickly and first of all acknowledge the committee, starting with our staff organizer, which is Miss Michelle Chambers. Let's give it up for Michelle. Michelle, we love you so much. Thank you so much for taking this wonderful, meaningful task on and pulling together all of the volunteers. With the committee, please stand. I know you all came every week tirelessly meeting with Michelle, coming up with ideas. You're responsible for the beauty of this room on this morning. We so appreciate all the work that the committee has done. We love you. Stay connected. Continue to come in and help us out. We need you. And then last but certainly not least, most important, those that contributed in kind or monetarily. Give yourself a round of applause. You all know none of this is done for free. Everything requires human and financial resources. So we hope that as you continue to enjoy your breakfast, enjoy this program, deposit your tickets so you can get some of these wonderful raffles that we've definitely, out of the hard work of our sister, that we've been able to accumulate. We want your participation in that. So without further ado, the man who is responsible and who's been working for 51 years so that we could continue to have access to health care and access to economics and access to political enfranchisement and everything else that we have the luxury of enjoying today. Let's give it up for our CEO, for our founder, for the man whose birthday we are also celebrating today, none other than the wonderful, the one, the only, Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson.
Thank you. Let us pray. For those whose bodies are ravaged with pain and threat. For those who have the symptoms but don't have insurance. For those who feel they can take an aspirin and can't afford to see a doctor. Have mercy on them today. For those who've lost a loved one, give us the comfort of knowing that their lives have inspired us to think anew. Do hear our prayer and empower us to fight this daily battle and fight every day, even to make life better for those who don't have it today but could have it tomorrow. We're also connected. Bless our organization and our struggle to make life better. And for those whose backs are against the wall, give them health, give them strength, give them courage and character. Amen. Amen. Let me make quickly several observations, please. One is that our broadcast starts in like 9 minutes. Please try to alter the program to make the broadcast so the whole world can hear this message. People in Puerto Rico and Africa and Mississippi and Houston, Texas will hear this message. Secondly, this issue, as John explained, is not for women only. And even if your wife, say whenever someone in our family has cancer, everybody has cancer. When someone in the family has cancer, we all have it directly or indirectly. There's a diet factor in this. Why is there so much cancer in Houston, Texas? They built these middle-class black homes over landfills for poison. What's the number one case of cancer in the United States? Is Williamsburg, Virginia. Number two is Newport News, building homes near shipyards over landfills. Sometimes it's landfills, and sometimes it's just congenital. So we get what our parents had. As I move into this stage of my life and look back at my family lineage, I said to the minister one day, and I will stop quickly. I said, what about your father? And he quickly said, before we could think, the hell with my father. He was never there. Mom and grandma raised me and my stepfather. And so I said, but stepfather don't not your daddy. He fed you beans, not jeans. A couple of weeks later, he got sick and went to the hospital. First thing the doctor asked him, who is your father? What did he have? Did he have cancer, prostate? Did he have whatever your father had? He didn't know him to ask him. So we cannot avoid knowing our bloodline. There's a song that's kind of popular. Papa was a Rolling Stone, and we kind of giggle when we hear it and all that. Whatever Papa was, he's still Papa. And Mama is still Mama. And so knowing our family tree is a big deal. Lastly, on each of your tables are rainbow envelopes. I want you to fill them out. Those who can give $100, do so. Those who can give less, give as you're blessed to give. We have needs. Some of the highest incidence of prostate cancer is in our community, of various forms of asthma in our community. So we need to come together every Saturday. 1 week is cancer. Another week is child murder. Another week is school closing. We have need to carve out some time for social justice and political empowerment every week. Affordable health care matters. I think of all the good work that President Barack Obama did, one of the big mistakes his team made, and I think they missed the signal, that when Harvey Gantt was about to beat Jesse Helms for senator, brother, if you're ready, with 3 points ahead the last weekend, they didn't put a black hand over a white hand, scared white people away, and Jesse Helms won. They took an affordable health care and put Obama over it, Obamacare. That's like putting the black hand over the white hand. There are people who will fight with all their soul for affordable health care, but fight against Obamacare. They want the egg, they want the omelet, but don't want the egg, because they're blinded by racism. And so I urge us to say affordable health care matters. Affordable health care matters. Curing cancer is our challenge. We can beat cancer in our time. You fight it on time. Let me express my thanks. I'm dashing it. Please finish as quickly as you can. But do come to broadcast it, and do fill out your envelope before you say, I will fill out my envelope this morning. I will not take it home. This is not a Christmas. December, by the way, December is our founding month. So December is that we were founded in December 1966. So God has blessed us. To God has blessed us to be long distance runners. Let's run on, see what the end is going to be. God bless you. Take the envelopes out rather than make me feel good. Bye-bye.
Bless you. Bless you. All right, come on. We're gonna embarrass him a little bit. I hope not. The good singers, let's sing happy birthday to Reverend Jackson. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Reverend Jackson. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Thank you, everybody. Please forgive us if we could not call every name, but I want all the committee members to stand. We want to thank Pete's in their absence, and you need to come back after the broadcast. We have some awesome gifts on the stage that are all going to be raffled off during our resource fair immediately following the broadcast. You're all a winner, so please come back after the broadcast to the resource fair and take and learn more and more about your body and taking care of your health and surviving beyond cancer. At this point, committee, please stand. We want to thank our leadership, Michelle Chambers. Yay, Michelle, give it up for Michelle, who worked so tirelessly with so many different ones of us who made sure that we stayed focused and got the job done. So thank you for coming out to share with us, and please come back. You already are a winner, so you want to win some of these gifts on the table. And I understand Honey Baked Ham is in the room, right? Where's, hi, Rob, how are you? Rob is in the room. Thank you, because we know that's the best ham in Chicago. So make sure that you win. And if you want to call a winner now, as the rest of you prepare to go downstairs. You ready, honey? Come on, Honey Baked Ham.
Get your coupons out. This is for Honey Baked Ham. Would someone pull the ticket, please? Make sure you come back. All the gifts on the stage that we will raffle off, plus a TV. 32-inch TV, so make sure you come back. The number for Honey Baked Ham, I have two. I raffle off one now and one later. 521-7858. You must be present to win.
Where?
What happened, huh?
What are the envelopes?
Honey Baked Ham.
Oh, this is one? This is
Yeah,
one?
that's one.
Here you
right
are, ma'am.
Could you, somebody take a picture?
Ma'am.
Come on, you want to raffle yours off right quick?
Thank you, everybody. Now, please, let's move to the auditorium. We need to turn this room around for the resource fair. Please.
Tell them to come back.
Somebody sing, we shall. Let it ring out that we shall. Oh. Yeah, deep in my heart, oh, I believe that we shall overcome someday. Come on, put those hands together. Well, we shall. Somebody sing, we shall. Let it ring out that we shall. Oh, Lord. It get dark sometime, but deep in my heart, oh, I believe that we shall. Yeah. Oh, well.
Good morning and welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so delighted and excited to be connecting with our Rainbow Push family. This broadcast is being brought to you live on Impact Network, rainbowpush.org, Facebook Live, Periscope, and YouTube. We are so happy that you are joining us this morning. The push is on. The push is on. Stay tuned with us. The push is on.
Somebody saying we shall. Let it ring out that we shall. Oh, someday. Well, deep in my heart, oh, I still believe that we shall. Come on. Oh, well, we shall. Somebody saying we shall. Let it ring out that we shall. Oh, someday. Oh, deep in my heart, oh, I believe that we shall overcome someday.
Let's give it up for the combined choir. Let's give it up, give it up. We are dedicating our broadcast this morning to breast cancer awareness, as well as we're dedicating it to Brad Keys, former NFL player, broadcaster, and franchise owner, and a member of Push who made his transition this week. We're also remembering the family of Fats Domino, rock and roll pioneer, who also made his transition this week. And certainly we're sending condolences to the family of actor Robert Guillaume, who made his transition this week. We also want to be mindful of the deadline that's rapidly approaching for our Toyota scholarships. Students that are approaching college age and are looking for some additional funding, please, please, please connect with our Push Excel department. We do have opportunities through October 31st, so that window of opportunity is rapidly closing. Please call us if you want more information about the Toyota financial scholarships. Also coming up, November 13th through the 16th, our DC Summit. We will connect in Washington, DC to discuss our telecom issues, so please join us in Washington, DC for the DC Summit. Our Thanksgiving dinners are also rapidly approaching. November 23rd is when we will have our Thanksgiving dinner. Please register. If you want more information, connect with us, www.rainbowpush.org. You can also call us at the number that's on your screen. Push Anniversary Month, December of this year, is Founders Month. Every year, we don't let Founders Month go by without recognizing the people who originally got this organization started. So please plan to hear more about what we have planned for Founders Month. And then we'd like to congratulate some of our women who are attending the March convention in Detroit. We have delegates there collecting information to come back and share with us and continue the empowerment of women and the role that we play in making a difference in society. So we want to congratulate those that are attending that conference today. Last but not least, we continue to appeal to you to join. You have to connect with us. Right now, we have so much going on in our world. We have so many things that are looking real regressive, you all. We've got to connect. We've got to come together, and we've got to stand together to make a difference. So please become a Rainbow Push member. If you're already a member, please renew your membership. We have staff on board right now that will share membership information with you, but we also encourage you to join us online, engage with us online, and to definitely become a member today. Don't delay. Our Push store. When you're done here, make sure you visit the Push store. As we continue our focus on breast cancer awareness, we would like to, at this point, bring up Dr. Sandy Goldberg. Dr. Sandy Goldberg, would you please join me? And after Dr. Sandy Goldberg from A Silver Lining Foundation comes to share remarks with us, the very next person you'll hear is Julia Huff.
and you will be pleasantly surprised by the genius of Julia Huff. So Dr. Goldberg, please come.
And what a joy it is this morning to be here with all of you at Operation Push, especially during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But before I get started, may I offer my sincere happy birthday to Reverend Jackson. I grew up hearing something that I'm sure most of you have. But it's something that made me start to think as I have gotten older with this platinum hair with my pink extensions, I might add. And that was, and I was brought up in Magnolia, Arkansas, and I always heard over and over from my mother, to whom much is given, much is required. As I have gotten older, or shall we say more seasoned, especially since I started with my husband a Silver Lining Foundation, I realized that that phrase is much more global than I thought of when I was being raised. Because to each of us, much is given, and therefore much is required. And what I mean, we are given life, we are given health, we are given the ability to reach out to other human beings and impact them. And because we are given that ability, that is something that is required of us. I was upstairs at the breakfast, listening to all the stories of the survivors and to my dear friend, Dr. Alana Biggers, and her family story. I'm a breast cancer survivor, and today it is exactly 17 and a half years. Yes, 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 yes. Blessed with great insurance when I was diagnosed, blessed with a support system. My husband and I started a Silver Lining Foundation. We just celebrated our 15th anniversary. Thank you. I share this information with you because of a message that Dr. Jackson and so many people have been sharing, certainly throughout the month of October, but throughout the year. If you need help, if you need access, especially in our terms, to breast health testing, and because of circumstances beyond your control, lack of insurance, having insurance that doesn't cover it, unable to afford a deductible, you come to us. Our doors are open for each and every human being who needs the help, female or male, because remember, gentlemen, you too can get breast cancer, and those numbers are rising. But what I want you all to do, and of course I can talk about our baby, a Silver Lining Foundation, forever, but what I want you to do, again, you be our messengers. You help, you identify, you ask, you be our voice. If anyone needs breast health testing and cannot afford it, and I'm not talking just about mammograms, I'm talking about all the way up through biopsy, we will help you. We will fund your testing at one of our 15 partner hospitals, and Lord forbid, if you are diagnosed, you will be taken care of. That is my word, that is my bond. So again, I thank you so much for the opportunity of talking to you all this morning and sharing our word and being here for this wonderful event and to honor the birthday of my dear friend. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Dr. Goldberg, God bless you. We are so grateful for that information and to know that there are resources available for us. We also want to welcome the group from Anderson University, Anderson, Indiana. I think they just joined us. Welcome to Rainbow Push. And before we hear from the lovely Julia Huff, we also have another guest choir with us, all the way from Gnuher, Sweden. We're going to hear from the Gnuher Gospel Choir. Let's give them a warm Rainbow Push welcome.
Good morning, Rainbow Push. Thank you so much for having me. And happy birthday to Reverend Jackson.
But I know the Lord will see you through. There has never been a time when He has let me down, and that's why I follow Jesus all the way. I got my mind, and my heart is fixed to follow Jesus all the way. Jesus, all the way. On this journey, there be many ups and downs, but I know the Lord will see you through. And there has never been a time when He has let me down, and that's why I follow Jesus all the way. And my heart is fixed to follow Jesus all the way. I got my mind, and my heart is fixed to follow Jesus all the way. All the way. I follow Jesus.
from Sweden. We so appreciate that wonderful inspiration they just provided us with. We have so many wonderful friends here today, and you're going to hear from many of them as the program goes on, as we focus on breast cancer awareness and the celebration of our CEO and founder's birthday, Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson. At this point, one of our friends that I would like to bring forward, who's also being presented with an award, is none other than the woman who's working real hard in Springfield for us all day, every day. She continues to be one of our drum majors for justice. At this point, I would like to bring forward Illinois State Senator Maddie Hunter.
Good morning, Rainbow Push. I am so happy to be here today. Thank you so very much for honoring Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This is the last weekend, but of course it goes on every single day. In 2006, I am the one that sponsored the Ticket for the Cure, which is the only, at that time, it was the only scratch-off breast cancer lottery ticket in the entire country. And as a result of that, we have since raised about $15 million, and the dollars actually go back into the community. They're administered by the Illinois Department of Public Health to dispense grants for public education and awareness programs. And so it's really important that you spend the $3, buy the ticket, and help put the money back into the community. Thank you so very much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Senator Hunter. We so appreciate that. Our next honoree that we'd like to bring forward is the woman who does a wonderful job keeping all the ladies looking good. And we thank her for all that she's meant towards our crusade with breast cancer awareness. So let's bring up, without further ado, Ms. Barbara Bates.
Thank you so much. This is such an honor. I'm so humbled to be here. Reverend, happy birthday. And this is just like an exciting situation. The monies that have been raised for breast cancer through my foundation, I don't think they would have been raised had I had not been a breast cancer survivor. So I guess I have to say thank you, Jesus, for letting me have breast cancer, 8.5-year survivor. And thank you, just thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and I suggest you leave that little swing coat for me as you exit the door. She's always so beautiful, isn't she? And last but not least, the last person we will be recognizing today is one of our very own. He shared a very compelling story with us at the Breast Cancer Awareness Breakfast this morning. We're going to call to the stage next our very own John Alexander.
Hi, everybody. I just want to say, you know, breast cancer is, can be, will be, can hit us men. So please, do your best. Go get checked out. I had to. I found out that I had breast cancer. I was a little embarrassed, but I'm not no more. So I'm going to be an advocate for telling men, get yourself checked out. And Reverend Jackson, thank you for letting me be here so long with you, being your photographer as well. And Rainbow Push family and all my family and friends, may God keep blessing each and every last one of you every day. Men, go get checked out.
All right. Thank you to our honorees. We appreciate what you've meant towards this struggle. We appreciate all of the stories that you've shared and your testimonies. We appreciate the work that Senator Hunter is doing in Springfield relative to breast cancer as well. So at this juncture, we're going to hear from Julia Huff. And when we're done hearing from the gospel artist, the songster, Julia Huff, the very next thing we'll do is have a few tributes to Reverend for his birthday.
It's truly my honor to do this for the breast cancer survivors. This goes out to you.
In your darkest hour, I will be your guiding light. I'll help you make it through those lonely nights when there's just no way in sight. Oh, you can always count on me and the promises I made. Just because I simply love you, that's the reason why I stayed. For I will always be around through the good times and the bad. When you're happy and when you're sad, then you can stop those tears of fear. 'Cause perfect love will cast away all the madness of your day. Oh, in your weakest moment, I will help to make you strong. We can use the times like these just to make some rights from wrong. Oh, you can always bank on this and the promises I made. Just because I simply love you, that's the reason why I stay. For I will always be around through the good times and the bad. When you're happy and when you're sad, then you can stop those tears of fear. This perfect love will cast away all the madness of your day. No, you don't ever have to worry, 'cause I'll never go away. I'll be there to comfort you from day to day. I'll be there in spirit, though it seems I've gone away. I'll walk you through the fire and then soothe you with the rain. Just know I'll always be around through the good times and the bad. When you're happy and when you're sad, then you can stop those tears of fear. 'Cause perfect love will cast away all the madness of your day. Just know I'll always be around through the good times and the bad. When you're happy and when you're sad, you can stop those tears of fear. Just remember that I'll always be around.
Thank you.
Let's give it up for Julia Huff. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing with us on this morning. The very next person you're going to hear is another near and dear friend of ours. He's a bishop on the South Side, and he does so much in the community and so much for Rainbow Push. Let's give a warm Rainbow Push welcome to none other than Bishop Jerry Jones.
Good morning, Rainbow Push. We're grateful to be here this morning and to say to our dear friend, happy birthday, Reverend Jackson, a unique individual who has done so much for the religious community, and I do mean for the religious community. He represents us all. Actually, he's our bishop. He's the bishop of the religious community and has done so much to make things better. All of us have a gift, and Reverend's gift is very unique in the sense that he fills a niche that most ministers are not called to fill. He's able to provide us with information. He's able to give us understanding. He's able to decipher information and also share it with us in a language that we understand. So we're able on Sunday mornings and throughout the week to kind of use that to help balance our ministries. I don't know where we'd be without the Reverend. Reminds me of a story that I once heard, and I said, well, what could you possibly say? And they didn't tell me how long. You know I'm a preacher. You should have told me how long to be up here. You know. It reminded me of a story I once heard about this young man who actually was raised by other parents. And once he got on his feet, went to school, got a great job. Holidays came around, he couldn't come home. So what he did was that he decided that he would send a gift home to his parents. And in sending a gift home to the parents, he says, well, I don't know what to get, and I'm wondering. So he stopped at a pet shop, and in there were 2 birds in there they'd heard about. And these 2 birds were uniquely talented. They could sing, they could dance, they could talk. And so he says, I want those birds. And the birds was $5,000 a piece. So he said, I'll take both of them. My parents have been good to me. They've raised me well. I got a good job. I can afford this. They're worth it. Send the birds back home, and on the day of the celebration of the holiday, he called in and says, Mom, how did you like those birds that I sent you? The gift, did you get it? She says, oh yeah, I got the gift, and I'm telling you, the birds, they were delicious. They were delicious. They were delicious. So, Mom, you wasn't supposed to eat those birds. Those birds cost $5,000 each. They could dance. They could talk. They could talk, Mom. They could talk. She said, well, he should have said something. We're here today because Reverend has an ability to say something. When things happen that shouldn't happen, he doesn't sit quietly. He says something. And his great achievements has been because he has been able to say it so well. And I'm glad to be a part of his family, and I am a part of his family, and I will always be a part of his family. He's always blessed us in so many unique ways by saying something to issues that threaten our peace, by saying something to issues that challenge us in unique ways. And so, Reverend, God bless you, and don't you dare think about retiring or quitting or sitting down. I'll just tell you like it goes on, fret not yourself because of evildoers. Neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down as the grass and wither as the green herb. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and shall not faint. Wait on the Lord. Be of good courage. He shall strengthen your heart. Happy birthday, Reverend.
So much, Bishop, for those wonderful words of inspiration. We've got a quick video insert. We also have another tribute to Reverend from one of our friends in D.C. So without further ado, we'll look at the video insert.
My friend, Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson, I'm reclaiming my time to wish you a happy birthday. I'm so delighted to be here with you and your family to wish you a happy birthday. I want you to know how much I love you, how much I appreciate you, how much America appreciates you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve with you in your 1984 and your 1988 campaigns for President of the United States of America. I learned so much. Because of you, I can do what I'm doing. Happy birthday, Jesse. Don't forget, I love you so very much.
All right, we love Maxine, and we know Maxine appreciates all that she's learned and all the tutelage she receives from Reverend. We have so many friends here. If I were to try to call them all, I'd run out of time, but I'm so happy to see John Rogers, CEO of Ariel Investment. I'm so happy to see Robert Jordan, our television spokesperson. So happy to see Robert Fioretti and so many others here as we continue to celebrate Reverend's birthday. The next person you're going to hear from, such a delight, Rebecca Reed. She is a junior at Whitney M. Young High School, and she is one of our Oratorico students. All right.
Good morning, everyone. I will be reciting an excerpt from Melody Hobson's 2015 University of Southern California commencement address entitled, Just Add Bravery. Now, let me be clear on what I mean by bravery. To me, being brave means that even when you know an action can end badly, you still forge ahead. Bravery allows us to push past the boundaries that hold us back from having the lives that we want. Bravery also allows us to push past boundaries imposed by cultural stereotypes. As a young girl taking public transportation to school, I doubt the other passengers were thinking, there goes the future president of an investment management firm with over $11 billion in assets. They might have thought this if they spent 5 minutes talking to me, but I'm going to guess that expectations were not running very high. Person by person, we can end stereotypes and break down boundaries to opportunity. Although this change begins with awareness, it doesn't end there. We need action. And the way to move from awareness to action is to just add bravery. The way to confront life's inevitable struggles, just add bravery. And this doesn't always mean charging the hill, fist in the air. Sometimes it may mean not charging the hill. This year we commemorated the 50th anniversary of the March on Selma, where people of all faiths walked for 5 days to the Alabama state capitol to demand the passage of the Voting Rights Act. The first attempt, peaceful protesters were attacked with nightsticks and tear gas as they attempted to cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge. The second attempt was led by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Confronted by hostile state troopers, Dr. King asked all the marchers to kneel in prayer before crossing the bridge. When they rose, he told everyone to turn back. They were shocked. You see, sometimes restraint takes bravery. And when you can't see a clear path to your future, I can offer you 3 simple equations that can help you get there. Equation number 1, hard work plus bravery equals success. Equation number 2, imagination plus bravery equals creativity. And finally, equation number 3, love plus bravery equals happiness. Remember, your bravest self will be your best self. And above all, remember that you are loved and that you are brave. It is now my pleasure to introduce a man who needs no introduction at all, for he is well known for his tireless efforts for civil rights and justice to be experienced by all of God's children. Today, I have the pleasure of presenting him on the occasion of his 76th birthday. Won't you please welcome to the stage Reverend Jesse L. Jackson, Sr.
And as Reverend is making his way to the stage, we're going to hear from our national spokesman real fast, who's also going to give Reverend a tribute. So we love Reverend so much. We're so appreciative for all that he has done, is doing, and continues to do. We continue to ask you to get informed, and then after you get informed with us, get some inspiration, and after you get your good inspiration, get involved with Rainbow Push. We need you. A voice that has really, really taken off over the past couple of years. Let's give it up for our national spokesman, Jonathan Jackson.
Somebody, sing it. Oh, I am.
I want to thank you on behalf of my brothers and sisters and my mother to say a very special happy birthday to my father, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. I want to thank God for 76 years of a magnificent life, and I ask that God continue his strength, increase his journey, and for such a time as this, we thank God for Reverend Jesse Jackson. We're living what some would say in the era of a Trump. But let me tell you, I have no fear of a Donald J. Trump. Some people have been on this battlefield for over 50 years in the spirit of the Reverend Martin Luther King. Trump's era will soon go away. But I ask you in television and radio land, when will we organize? When will we come together? When will we unite in the true spirit of a Rainbow Push coalition? There's a Donald J. Trump, but above him there is a God. Donald J. Trump is not the end all and be all. Some people are talking about the flag. I'm talking about a father that I have that has a faith that's unshakable. Some people are talking about the Second Amendment. I'm talking about there is a second commandment. We will not put a flag above our faith. And ladies and gentlemen, I am proud now to introduce a man that is instinctively intelligent, a man that is courageous, a man that defends the defenseless, a friend of mine God has given me as a father, the Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Oh, I may be down but not destroyed, empty but not void, but I am somebody. Oh, I am somebody. Look at somebody and say, I am. Yeah, I may be down but I'm not destroyed, empty but not void, 'cause I am somebody. Oh, I am there. Yeah, I am. Oh, maybe down and pushed away, but at the end of the day, I am somebody. Hey, hey, girl, oh, yeah, maybe down but not destroyed, empty but not void, 'cause I am somebody. Oh, just pray for me. Oh, just pray with me for the world. Oh, pray with me, pray with me.
Say, I am somebody. I am somebody. I am somebody. I am somebody. Respect me, protect me, never neglect me. Stop the violence, save the children. Stop the violence, save the children. If my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, I know I can achieve it. Stop breast cancer now. Stop breast cancer now. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
I am somebody. Oh, I am. Yeah, I am. Hey, I may be down but not destroyed, empty but not void, 'cause I am somebody.
Let's hear for our choir from Sweden. Let's hear for our choir from Sweden. On your feet, on your feet. Show your love for our choir from Sweden. for your presence, for your work, for your focus today on the challenge of breast cancer. It's not for women only. You feel that tingling, sore feeling in your chest, on your breast. Don't get a bare aspirin, get a checkup. That runs us right to the issue of Medicaid, because many people will have that feeling, will have those movements in their bodies, and they go at stage 4, it's much too late. I want to thank John Alexander, who is our photographer, who has faced cancer of the nose and the lung and the breast, who keeps on fighting back. Thank God for his will to fight back. We will defeat cancer in our time. Keep fighting. Stand on your feet, say, keep fighting cancer. Keep fighting cancer. We will win. We'll win. We'll win. We'll win. Last week I talked with Sister Maisha Johnson, the wife of David Johnson in Miami, Florida, who was insulted by Trump's trivializing the fact that he knew he was going to run the risk of dying when he went to the military. With a wonderful family, we had great talk and great prayer on the phone. Please pray for Maisha Johnson, now the mother of 3 children, the husband who is dead, shot in Niger. I want to indicate that last week we were not here. We were at the Automotive Summit Conference in Detroit, Rainbow Push, and we are boycotting BMW. Now let me tell you what the deal is here. We're going to Germany to meet with the heads of Germany. BMW has 364 dealerships, 5 are African American. There's more in the car than the ride. We're not going to stop there. Mazda has 2, Acura 2, Subaru 3, Audi 4, Nissan 20, Ford 62, Honda 7, Toyota 14, Mercedes-Benz 7, Mitsubishi 6, General Motors 52, BMW 5, Volkswagen 8, Kia 9, Smart 1, Lexus 10, Hyundai 10, Infiniti 2. So we have money to spend and votes to invest. Use our money, our votes, our discipline, and our coalition. Just as we vote on the ballot, we also vote with our dollars. We demand fairness and justice that we can do without BMW. They cannot do without us. So if you have a BMW, put it in the garage and cover it up. If you're going to buy one, don't buy one. And all we are saying, we want equal trade. We want fair and reciprocal trade. We trade with them. They want us to be their customers. We want to be their partners. See? So we want to be partners. It's partners, not just customers. Partners, not just customers. And it's not just about dealerships. It's also about lawyers and ad agencies and marketing. No one in the C-suites. No one marketing. They have like an $800 million procurement budget. Less than 500,000 African Americans. So we want our share of procurement and marketing and legal work, ad agencies, marketing, construction, fair trade or no trade. Fair trade or no trade. We can do without BMW until they change their policy. We'll change our cars. Put your hands together. The Saturday before that, Sister Goldberg, we went down to Puerto Rico. 3.5 million people in Puerto Rico, 3.5 million people. They don't have the right to vote. They are American citizens without the, say Puerto Ricans, American citizens without the right to vote. Therefore, they have no leverage. Puerto Rico deserves 2 senators and 5 congresspeople. So long as they are say Puerto Ricans think like a nation, categorized as a territory, and treated like a colony. And so the issue down there is even deeper than the storm is that we pull out the Paris Accords.
These borderline states like Florida and Texas and South Carolina will be eaten up as the sun melts the glaciers and the water rises in temperature and in height, and the wind blows. It's something called hurricanes. It's called tornadoes, because when we break the line with carcinogens in the air and we violate the earth has a way of fighting back. The earth is in perfect balance. You got the north and south poles, cold on both ends, and you equate in the middle. When you break that line and the sun breaks the glaciers, and then the waters get higher and the water gets hotter, then you have earthquakes in Mexico. You have 100,000 people abandoned in Nigeria. You have fires in California. So the whole earth is in trouble because of greed. We stand to fight for environmental science. Environmental science is not a Chinese hoax. Put your hands together if that makes sense to you. Don't forget, one thing worse than not having the right to vote is to have it and don't use it. There's a man running for senator in Alabama. He appears to be somewhat wild. He's out of control. He's the one that pulled the pistol out upon his victory that night. There are enough black votes and progressive votes in Alabama to send him out on his ranch so he can hunt rabbits with that gun and not hunt people. So I want you who are in Alabama, whether you're in Huntsville or Birmingham or Mobile, we marched for the right to vote. We marched too long and bled too much and died too young. Now use that vote and send him back to the ranch, let him shoot rabbits with his pistol. In Virginia, we can win the Virginia race. The guy who's running against Northam, his thing is, I run on the statues. Say the Confederate flag and the statue represents secession, slavery, segregation, sedition, and anti-Semitism. Slavery, secession, sedition, segregation, anti-Semitism. During the period of Jim Crow, they lynched 5,000 people, most of blacks and some Jews in Tennessee. So we're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going to let Trump turn us around. We're not going back. We will survive Trump. We're not going back. We're going to use our minds, our bodies, and our strength and our coalitions to fight back. Now, understand that Mr. Mueller's come out this weekend. He's announced in Washington that the grand jury said somebody is going to face handcuffs tomorrow morning. So this nation is so great, even Trump cannot destroy it. This land is our land. This land was made for you and me. So November 7th is a big election in Alabama, big election in Virginia. In Virginia, you have 800,000 blacks eligible to vote, 600,000 registered, 150,000 Asians, and 110,000 Latinos. So there are enough of us. If we vote, our hopes, not our fears, to win. Lastly, we have survived apart. Black, white, brown, Jewish, Gentile. So we have survived apart. Our challenge today is to learn to live together as brothers and sisters and not die apart as fools. We need each other. When it's real dark, we look just alike in the dark. When the wind blows and the fires rage, we look just alike. When the floodwaters come, we look just alike. When the storms come, we are one people. We are God's people. Many languages, one message. We need healing, not hate, hope, not fear, forward by hope, and not backwards by fear. I know it gets dark sometimes. We've had Trumps, we've had Wallaces before. We will not last Trump. Young America, don't let Trump confuse you. You know, the go from Britain to France is a 30-mile journey. For a swimmer, it's not a long distance. But the undercurrent is what makes it so difficult. So every now and then, while swimming, driven by a headwind, a tailwind, sometimes the headwind comes our way. When it's real dark, waters are rough, eyes open, mouth shut, keep stroking. As surely as it is dark, the morning cometh. The Lord is our light and our salvation. Whom shall we fear? The Lord is the strength of our lives. It gets real dark. It gets real dark, but the morning cometh. The morning cometh. We cry sometime, we hurt sometime, because we're confused. But every now and then, weeping may endure for a night, but hold on and hold out. Joy cometh in the morning. We're better than Trumpism. We're better than race supremacists. We're better than anti-Semites. We're better than racism. We are a good people, a great people. We are God's people. I am somebody. I am somebody. I am God's child. Red and yellow, brown, black, and white. We're all precious in God's sight. If my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, I know I can achieve it. Forward by hope, not backwards by hurt. Forward by hope, not backwards by hurt. Through it all, keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Never surrender. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. And as we hear from our choir, we'll give a big hand to our choir from Sweden one more time. I want to make this appeal to you. One, that these big elections are coming. Don't stop this. These big elections are coming up in November. Don't miss this moment. They killed Heather Heyer in August. Remember in November. Say, remember in November. Pray for Congresswoman Frederica Wilson. Pray for her. God, keep his arms, protection. Let's hear from my choir.
I belong to you, you belong to me, Lord. I'm surrounded.
Put your hands together. Before we make a move, our kids from Lincoln Park Gospel Choir, give our kids a big hand. Come give them a big hand. Let's hear from Lincoln Park Gospel Choir. With your bad self. Love you guys. So glad you guys are here and keep on coming back in.
I shall wear a crown. I shall wear a crown when it's all over. Say when it's all over. Said I shall wear a crown. I shall wear a crown when it's all over. Say when it's all over. Said I shall see his face. I shall see his face when it's all over. Say when it's all over. I'm
Give it up for Lincoln Park. Give it up, give it up. Let us pause to pray before we take up our collection today and accept our further challenges. We've been blessed this year to have now in Illinois automatic voter registration. That's a blessing. We've also been condemned to have so many people in poverty. And that's the pain of it all. To think that Congresswoman Frederica Wilson is now in hiding because of threats on her life, because the way that Sister Johnson was treated when her husband was killed in Niger. There are challenges around. Let us pray. I am somebody. We thank you so much for so much. Somebody has cancer in the room today. Somebody's an overcomer. Someone woke up on a bright and beautiful day only to hear from the doctor they had a dreaded challenge. Yeah, God, you're an overcomer. There's nothing too hard for you. Whatever the issue of blood may be, if we have the faith, you have the power. A woman came to you one day crawling on her knees through the crowd, and she touched the hem of your garment. And that was enough medicine in the hem to heal her. And you still got some garment left. You got some healing left. Give us that special something. Let us stop killing each other by gunfire and violence. Let's have a higher sense of ethic, a higher character, be a better people, a safer city, a safer country. Bless our nation. Yes, our president. Bless our Congress. Give them the vision to take us to higher heights. Don't take us back down the road of pain and polarization. We know it, you can if you will, because there is nothing too hard for you. And when we fall down, we get back up again because nothing is too hard for you, and the ground is no place for champions. And so we rise because we are somebody. We matter. We're hope. We are. I am somebody. I am.
I am. I am. Maybe down but not destroyed. I am. Yeah, maybe down but not destroyed. Empty but not void. I am. I am.
We come together today to lean on each other because we need, none of us can make it. Brother Rush by said, it's all of us. It's all of us. It's interdependent. We need each other. So we shall lean on each other. Those of you who are here today, I hope you'll come back next week because there's so much work. There are children to be mentored, there are jobs to be had, there's training to be done. We need you to volunteer for our struggle. Don't just come to the King breakfast once a year. Dr. King fought for us every day to make us better. Dr. King, Goldberg, or Heschel, they fought together. So whenever a handful of us come together, we can stick our finger in the dike and save the city from drowning. Those who come today for breast cancer awareness, stand. Those who come today for breast cancer awareness, stand.
As we continue our focus on breast cancer awareness, we just want to remind you that immediately following this broadcast, back up in our community hall, we will continue our live international radio and television on television and internet and Facebook in the community hall. We have door prizes, but what we will do is have a full health awareness. There'll be vendors there, there'll be individuals there to talk to you. Please join us upstairs in the community hall immediately following this broadcast.
Some of you are here today, a group of here from Ann Arbor, Spring Arbor. Send them Spring Arbor. Give these are our students. Give them Spring Arbor stand. Send Spring Arbor. Give them a hand. Give our children a big hand from Spring Arbor. Give a big up. Love you guys. It's collection time. If you're not a member of Rainbow Push, please join today. We have a nation to take back from madness and shame and disgrace. We have the numbers, the will, and the need to win if we apply it. If you will sacrifice and give at least $100, please, or more, please stand. We need your support. You will sacrifice to help us on our way as we travel this country from New York to Virginia to Chicago to Puerto Rico. We do it because you send us there. No, we didn't get a government grant to go to Puerto Rico. We just went because it was the right thing to do. 80% are still feel ready in the dark. I met with people. It rained in Puerto Rico every day. It's the monsoon season. People, they don't have a roof and in the dark and no lights and raining in a corner up on the top until morning comes. And so when we go down, we're going to the Virgin Islands as well. So whenever people in need, it's our moral obligation and our great opportunity to serve. You will sacrifice and give $100 or more, please stand. And while they are coming forward with their contributions, if you're not a member, I want you to join Push. Students is $15, adults $35 or more. You will sacrifice and give at least $100, please stand. Sister Goldberg, I know you got a lot of money. I want some of it today. I want some of that money for you today. Well, she heard me. Give it up. I know you're able. You'll give $100 or more, please stand, wherever you are. Thank you, Sister. Sister Muhammad, won't you come give her a hand, please? One of our most faithful members, give her a hand. Remember the nation and the rainbow. Thank you very much. For Minister Farrakhan, $100. Give it up. Thank you very much. Thank you, man. When I first saw Sister Muhammad, she's in the Jet magazine in the centerfold. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. In the Jet magazine in the centerfold. Talk to me, sir. I remember when Rodney the Pastor, where's Rodney the Pastor? Oh, hey, Reverend.
He said, this is not from Push. This is for you, for your birthday.
All right.
So I'm putting this in your birthday.
He said, it's not for Push, this is for me. Well, I got something to do with it. Take it home to Jackie. Y'all want to give me a birthday present? I'm not turning it in. I'm not begging for them, but I put it right in this left pocket. Take it home to Jackie. You like to join Push. You like to help us on our way. You like to join Push. Raise your hand. You like to be a member of Push, a card-carrying member. You like to get your weekly email from us. You like to find out what's going on. If you're not a member, raise your hand. You can join today. If you're already a member, I want you to Taria Bachman, $100. Thank you very much, Taria. Thank you very much. Thank you, darling. If you don't write like a check, that Miss Fioretti. Don't want to check, we got one of them swipe cards and swipe your money in. That's real. That's real. Bob got big money. Bob, you ain't fooling me.
It's mentioned Reverend Finch is here from Indiana.
Where Reverend Finch?
Right there.
Look at here, look at him. Indiana man, Fort Wayne man. Good. You'll get $50 or more. Don't take this appeal lightly. Don't take this appeal lightly. I want everybody, stop the music for a minute. I want everybody to give something. Give according to your capacity to give, but give something. Invest in our struggle. We need your help. We went from Selma to Montgomery. We were not financed by the Republicans or Democrats. When we marched and make BMW open up dealerships. We're not being funded by BMW to fight BMW. We need those whose backs against the wall to stop and fight back. You'll sacrifice at least $50. Please stand and come forward. If you're not a member, put it in an envelope so you can be on our membership roll. J.D. Wilson family, $50. Thank you so much. Robert Jordan, $100. Robert Jordan, $100. Robert, look here. Look at him. You know, I got a glass. I ain't seen none of these glasses. I'm just faking, looking, look serene. You'll give $50 or more. Please stand. Ushers, they might want to walk. Ushers, help them. Dwight McKee, I see you back there. Now, I know you got some money. You give $25 or more. Please stand. Sacrifice. I have to go to Detroit today to Judge Damon Keith, 95 years old, on the federal bench, one of the great judges ever. He's the prince of federal judges. Bob Fioretti, $101. You want to up people? I said 101. I'm gonna give you one just to make you feel. Miss Fioretti, I have some cake. I'm gonna give you a slice of my cake upstairs. I'm trying not to eat cake. And I'm gonna Goldberg gonna share my cake with me, okay? Share my cake with me upstairs. Why don't you give me one of them rings? You can keep the money. You give 25 or more. Please stand. Please stand. You give $10 or more. You give something. Stand. You give something. You give something. You give something. We need you give something. Let's just go down the aisles, please. You'll give something. Everybody, if you don't have an envelope, raise your hand. If you don't have an envelope, if you do have an envelope, raise your hand. On the second floor, we're having our health fair upstairs. Brother Rush, we need to talk when the meeting's over, okay? We need to talk. There's a healthcare fair upstairs. There's also our gift shop upstairs. You can buy T-shirts and caps and pens and rainbow eyes to sit in Rainbow Eyes the Nation. Anderson University, please stand. Give them for Anderson. Give them a hand. Now, when this is over, we're going to do something very brief to Anderson University and for the breast cancer survivors. We're going to go out that door, take a picture quick outdoors. Right? Y'all can handle that, can't you? It won't take long. Anderson and Spring Arbor. Spring Arbor, raise your hands again. When we get through, we're going to take a picture quick. Matter of fact, we're going to do it on the front. So you have the building in the background, okay? Anderson, stand right now. Anderson, stand. Daisy, do me a favor, please. Escort Anderson out this door to my left. We're going to take a picture out front right quick. Well, we're so glad y'all came. What y'all sing something? Sing something. Sing anything. Yankee Doodle Dandy, anything. Just sing something. Spring Arbor, stand. Spring Arbor. The events, when they're out front, let Anderson get on one side, Spring Arbor on the other side, so I sat in the cold too long. It's Spring Arbor on one side, Anderson on the other side. We can take pictures right quick. John, the cameraman. I want you guys going out front right now, okay? John, line them up, please, okay? Let me on. What you? Yeah, go. There's a piano playing man. My. my. Sing it, sing it, sing it, sing it. Stand. Oh, yes.
Well, you guys, thank you so very much. What we're going to do is we thank everybody for all the chairs and everything and putting up with it. Give yourselves a round of applause. And thank you so very, very much for being our special guest today.
Vi har fått ett jättefint papper här.